we are ready to start our stretch and folds. That dough's been resting for 30 minutes. And this is our beginner loaf. So I'm just going to do a series of stretch and folds, and then we'll move on to our next batch. So I've got some water here, so just get your hand wet. And all we're going to do is we're going to reach in and we're going to pull up and pull it over. And we're going to turn the bowl a quarter way, reach in, and pull up and pull it over. And then we're going to finish the other two. Now, for this very first set of stretch and folds, you're going to want to be pretty aggressive. The dough will give it to you, so you can pull way up and then over. And then down the road, the dough is going to start to get tighter and tighter. But for this first one, reach in. Again, it's easier so it doesn't stick to your fingers if you use water. You're going to pull it way up. Okay, so then we're going to turn it quarter way, stretch, and tuck. Now, as you get to your third and your fourth one here, your dough is going to start to tighten up. And that's okay, don't rip it, just take what it gives you. Okay. So now that looks nice and as tight as it's going to get right now. So let's do the next one. Okay, this is the other beginner loaf, and I put this one in a tin here. So we're going to be doing coil folds on this, and this is kind of a beginner method. It's also an intermediate method, but I know a lot of beginners that start off with coil folds. So with this one, we're going to push our fingers underneath, and we're going to pull up, and we're going to let it fold on itself. We're going to pull up and let it fold on itself. And then we're going to work our way down, and we're going to turn it, and we're going to do it again, and so see how much we can get out of a coil fold. You just want to pull it up until it releases, and then let it lay down. And then you just want to pull it up until it releases, and then lay it down. See, and you get like this nice coil shape in there. Pull up, when it releases, and then it lay down. Now you can finish it all the way to the end, but this is kind of where I do like to turn it and work my way the other way. So you're going to pull until it releases and let it lay down. Pull, let it lay down. Now we're going to turn it sideways. And with this one, we're probably going to get only one coil on each side because the dough's getting tight. And remember, we just want to take what it gives us, but you can see how that's a nice coil shape there. And again, this is the beginner recipe, and that is a coil fold. Now we're going to do 2 more of these 30 minutes apart. Now what I didn't do on my other loaf, but what we should be doing is taking the temperature of our dough. Ideally 78 is pretty good, and it's 76.3. Knowing the temperature of your dough is important because it's just going to give you a roadmap to tell you how well it's fermenting and how the dough is going to behave later on, especially when it goes into a proof. Okay, so this one's done. We're going to continue the coil folds on this. This last one is the more advanced loaf that we did the roubade on. So for this first one, I am going to do a stretch and fold for this set, and then the next set we're going to do a coil, but it's going to be a different style. So we're just going to do a quick stretch and fold, just like the first one. So I'm going to go pull it, get it to release here. Whoa. Now that is the difference with the flowers. That wheat and spelt and rye water hogs, and so sometimes you have to work with the whole grains a little bit more, and so that's why the roubade method helps, is because it just gives a little bit more work on the dough to get a little more structure. Okay, this is our fourth. Now, we're gonna put my timer on here, 30 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and do it all again in 30 minutes. I'm gonna take my watch off for this one. Now this is our beginner loaf that we're just doing the stretch and fold on. It's just the same as before. You might be wondering, like, why should we do stretch and folds on some and coil folds on the other? It's just really whatever you prefer, honestly. You're not going to see that much of a difference in the dough if you do a stretch and fold or a coil fold, honestly. Unless it's for this coil fold that I've got coming up, and then that is a more advanced. I think you will probably see a difference in the crumb if you can work it like that. Okay, this one's done. So you can see just how fast that goes. Sourdough, it takes a long time, but really the hands-on time is not a lot. All right, this is our coil. Now the last time I worked I could tell I kind of worked like this just because I can see. So I'm gonna go the other direction this time. I kind of want to get it released from the bowl, and it is really becoming beautifully silky. So you want to pull it up and just let it lay down. A little water. Lay down, and then I'm going to turn it. I don't know if you can see the difference here. I mean, it looks like a little burrito. And there's bubbles and everything coming out. It just looks beautiful. It looks like a beautiful dough. Okay. Last one. Okay. Wow. I've got another camera over on this side. Okay. Okay. So if you remember, I did a stretch and fold, just a regular stretch and fold on this the last time, or our very first time actually. Now I took my watch off. We're gonna do a coil fold. I'm gonna wrap it around my hand, like around my arm, kind of like a bracelet or a snake. That is gonna give us a lot of layering. It's like a coil fold times 10, almost. Now the trick is to get this out of the bowl without like having it be too unwieldy. Let's just try it. So you want to get it released. All right, here it is. And you're just going to want to stretch it over and over and over, and then tuck this in. That's it. That's all it is. And then put the shower cap on, and we're going to come back, and it's in 30 minutes. Now, oh, I should take the temperature. (74). I'm keeping my dough during these 30-minute rests. I'm keeping it kind of in a warm area. I've got a cupboard that just happens to be kind of warm, so I'm going to put everything back in there, and then we're going to come back in 30 minutes and do our final series of handling the dough before we just let it sit and finish up the bulk ferment all on its own. All right, 30 minutes later. Ooh, we're getting some nice fermentation here. I don't know if you can see that. This is our simple stretch and folds. Wow, gorgeous. Didn't do that one very well. Do one more here. And sometimes you just gotta like make it work. Okay. There's that one. Ooh, that's beautiful dough. Now, This has still held its shape a little bit. I realize it looks flat to you guys, but I can still see the coils in here from the last time we folded it. And so I know that this is coming along, it's building structure and elasticity, and it's holding its shape, so it's getting strong. If you are coming back to your dough and you're doing your stretch and fold, and it's just completely slack, still kind of not really holding its shape when you come back to it, you might need to do one more set in 30 minutes, but otherwise for us, this is our last one. Sometimes I do 4, and some bakers want you to do 4 or 6, but I do 3. I'll try 2. Okay, coil fold. This is becoming so strong that I'm having to sort of like make it turn over. Okay. Then there's that one. Of our more advanced loaf. And again, I can see the shape of how I left it in the bowl. It has slacked out and it's definitely spread, but I can definitely still see that shape. So I am not thinking that we are going to need to do another set here in a half an hour. I think we're good. All right. I'm going to release this. Okay. You can see how effective this would be. Beautiful. At this point, I'm going to, so we're about halfway through our bulk ferment. We've been handling it every 30 minutes, but it's going to finish up the bulk on its own. I'm going to put the shower caps back on, and normally it would maybe take a couple hours to finish the bulk before we do the shape, but this is really coming along. So I'm going to check it in an hour, and we might be able to go ahead and get it out of the bowl and do our pre-shape in an hour. So the next step is I'm going to show you how to do a shape. Well, first a pre-shape and then shape. The shape step is when we're going to build that tension, and I'll teach you how to do that, a few different tricks, and then that's going to give you some good oven spring. All right, we'll see you in a little bit.